that we had from the last space surveillance radar reading that came in. So we don't know if it's still up there or if it has come down and sunk into the atmosphere. We're still waiting on an update for that. But possible reentry could be in progress at any time now. Jason T, thank you very much. You said it was at an altitude of 159 kilometers. It peaked at 198 kilometers a few minutes ago. Is it possible that it skipped off the atmosphere and gained that much altitude? So no. So this is basically data based on the normal orbital elements for this orbit. So every orbit is an ellipse around the Earth. There's a high point and a low point, and so at any given moment in orbit, it's going between the either rising towards the high point or falling towards the low point on the orbit. So this is sort of residual data. We don't know yet at this point whether this thing is dead or alive. It's sort of in this zombie-like state where we don't know if it has re-entered or if it's landed. But if it has re-entered, from the moment it starts to re-enter, it's around between a 5 and 20 minute period for the pieces to actually sort of hit the ground. So AB, thanks for the donation. How long does it take to land after re-entry? So that just answers your question right there. Between 5 and 20 minutes is the time period. So yeah, if you're in Italy or if you're in Greece, if you're in Turkey, Egypt, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iraq, Israel, go outside, take a look, see if you have a light show. 8EL Guy 1, thank you very much for the $20. Could you please wish my wife Fanny a happy Mother's Day? Well, Fanny, hope you have a brilliant Mother's Day, a great Mother's Day. And to all the other moms out there as well, have a good one. Brad Gray, thank you for your hard work. Thank you very much. Thank you for donation. Helps keep this going. So this is the exciting limbo state that we're all in together at this point, where we haven't had a radar update in a while. We're looking for some sort of confirmation, some sort of video of this thing re-entering somewhere on social media, or some indication that this thing has actually re-entered. There's a lot of uncertainty in the re-entry timeline, so we've gone ahead and put it as possible re-entry in progress. Kelly Des Rosiers, thank you very much. Why are there so many evil people in here wanting to harm Israel? Well, we hope nobody gets harmed. We're all humans and trying to survive on this planet Earth together. So, but politics are politics. People get all amped up about that kind of stuff. But yeah, as you can see from the ground track, anywhere in this grayed out region, if you live in any of these areas where you're in that kind of grayish bluish circle, go outside, take a look. Re-entry could be in progress, might have already occurred, or might be yet to occur. But if you are in these areas, please do let us know if you see something or you don't see something. That's good information, and your information could be as current as any information anywhere. So still waiting on any kind of confirmation at this point. Checking the feeds. You have to imagine there's probably some military radar that is tracking this. John Lewis, thank you for the donation. Tell Dave he's rubbish at COD, please. Okay, Dave, you're rubbish at Call of Duty. So at this point, should be going over the coast of Israel. So if you're in any of these areas, again, I kind of emphasize, see if you see anything. If it is re-entering, you'll see it'll be unmistakable looking up. And do appreciate everybody who's been donating in super chats and everybody who's supported us throughout this stream today. It's been fun. We've had a couple of different commentators. Really enjoyed talking about all this. But yeah, we're in this limbo state and we're continuing to wait for some confirmation that reentry has occurred. Dave Murphy, thank you for the $20. Wishing Christina Murphy in Windermere, Florida, a happy Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, Christina Murphy. It is exciting to see, when you see how many people are interested in space and in engineering and technology. It's the key technology that makes our world tick. And, we're in this space age. and you know, it's always a good opportunity to learn.
Hang on, guys.
Evan Ogra, excuse me. Thank you very much for the $5. Hello from New York. Can you give a Mother's Day shout out to Dr. Maria Cartanganea? Sorry if I botched the last name, but happy Mother's Day to Dr. Maria. Really appreciate it.
What's up, guys?
So at this point, just a quick update. You know, the rocket stage is currently passing over Saudi Arabia, if it is still in orbit, if it hasn't deorbited yet. Looking at, you know, social media feeds and radar updates, we still have no definitive confirmation that this thing has come down or not. So we're awaiting some kind of an update. You know, there was an hour plus or minus on uncertainty from the latest update. So we don't know yet if it is down yet.
So that could.
Anthony, thank you for the chat. Will it pass over the USA if it's up there longer? Yes, it will. So, but it would have to be up there a lot longer. So the passes are basically really after kind of the midnight time frame when they start to really pass over the US. So it's possible if these estimates end up being way wrong, and who knows. But at this point, it does not look like it's going to last that much longer. Specs, SZN, thank you for the chat. Let's hope it doesn't hit anywhere to harm people. Yes, exactly. Let's hope it ends up dropping in the ocean, or if it does land on land, it just ends up in a field somewhere, or desert somewhere, or, you know, field, you know, crops or something, where it doesn't harm anything. And it would be neat after all this too to see some pieces of it. You know, we've been talking about it now for several hours, and people have been thinking about it for several days. So it certainly would be a historical artifacts if any of this gets recovered.
Whether this thing has been
but we obviously hope it doesn't land on anybody.
And look, it's going by the Maldives.
So at this point, kind of passing through the middle portion of Saudi Arabia, it's then going to pass out into Oman.
So
if you're in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, go outside, take a look.
He's a Harvard astronomer.
Let us know if there's a fireworks show.
Dozens and dozens of interviews on TV. I know he was on CNN.
People ask, you know, why is it hard, you know, to figure out the exact time? And it's because the thing is tumbling end over end, and it's passing through areas of the atmosphere that are very high and have a very difference in density that can occur just based on space weather environment. So people don't know we actually don't know what the density of the atmosphere is up there. It's only an estimate.
5 minutes ago.
Yamagata Nobuyuki, thank you very much for the super chat. Very much appreciated.
But now this tells me.
And as always, I'm trying to answer questions from the chat. But if you want anything to rise to the top, feel free to super chat, and we'll get on it right away. Classy Essentials, thank you very much for the $10 and the thank you emoji. Very cool. So at this point, as always, anywhere in this sort of bluish circle zone is an area where if you happen to be near it and it was re-entering, you would be able to see it. If you're on the edge of the circle, it'd be low on the horizon. If you're dead center in the circle, it could be right above you, so heads up. Jay Kuradijan, thank you very much for the chat. Awesome. Says thank you, this is awesome. Well, we think you're awesome too. Jason Russo, happy Mother's Day to Jill Russo. David Moore, happy Mother's Day to Andrea Moore and Kim Stanley. Happy Mother's Day. People asking, are we safe? So we don't know yet. We don't know whether this thing has re-entered already or not. So we're trying to figure that out. So Sandria Lacewell, thanks for the chat. If it hits the ocean, will it cause a tsunami or spike in earthquakes? The answer is no. And that's the good news, is that this thing, you know, is 22 tons roughly, 100 feet long, 16 feet across, big object, but not big enough to cause any kind of tsunami or earthquake. It's only really a hazard if it happens to land right on you, right? But the odds of that are very, very small. You're much more likely to, you know, trip down the stairs or something, or, you know, fall just moving around and suffer an injury than to get injured by this thing. Clarky's Weather and Stuff, thanks for another donation. I honestly think it may land close to or on Australia. So that was his message. So who knows? If we don't know yet whether it has entered or not. So far we're not seeing any videos on social media or anything. So it may still be up there. We're keeping a close eye on it. Just checking the latest feeds here, see if there's anything new. Not as of right now. Sky, thank you for the donation. Oh, hey, Destiny, ha 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 ha. So hi, Destiny. Ben Dover, altitude is dropping, probably going to drop in the Indian Ocean. Thanks to Ben. We know what's going on there. TFFF happy Mother's Day to Nana from Jackson. So happy Mother's Day to Nana from Jackson.
J all over.
Isn't it great in the age of technology? You can get anybody to say anything. Chris Orr, thank you very much for the $25. How fast is it going? For perspective, how long from land to New York to LA? So don't have a calculator handy, but it's, if it is still in orbit, it's moving north of 17,000 miles an hour. So that is a very, very quick trip, no matter how you look at that. Heiser, thank you very much. Greetings from Germany. Great stream. Thanks a lot. I've seen nothing in South Germany yet. So thank you for the data point there. So nobody saw anything in South Germany, at least. Aiden Charming, thank you for the money. $5. What's Earth's reentry height where the rocket would start burning up? 100 kilometers. Yeah, 100 kilometers, roughly the 50-mile range is about where that starts to happen. It can actually happen a little bit at higher altitude than that, but that's where the drag really starts to, to kind of increase, like crazy. Abigail Vipperman, thank you for that chat. This is real helpful. Thanks to Snapchat map, it just passed over Israel according to recent snaps within 5 minutes. So yeah, that's right on with what we were talking about there. And I'm curious, Abigail, if that was, if it was burning up in Israel, or if it was just visible, as a satellite still. Real curious to hear on that. So at least as of Israel, likely was still up and up moving still. So Aiden Charming, thank you for the $5. What's Earth's reentry height? Okay, so we just talked about that. Dave Weinfield, welcome to Cabin Crew. Appreciate it. So yeah, at least it was up still over Israel. So once again, a large amount of uncertainty in these estimates for when this thing is going to come down. We knew this was the center of the estimate, but the estimate was plus or minus an hour. So this thing could very well still be up there, waiting to have its moment. David My Grills, footage and images of it flying over Middle East via Twitter thread from DJ SNM. So thank you very much for that update. So it's still flying from the look on social media as it was passing over the Middle East. So it's likely still in orbit. Seems to be pretty good. Ready for launch. Thanks for the $10. Thanks for doing this. What goes into estimating when and where it comes down. So there are space surveillance radars usually operating by the U.S. military and other sources. This information gets fed into a variety of private companies that have their own algorithms for trying to estimate when this stuff comes down. But there's still a wide amount of uncertainty, plus or minus an hour or more, even this close to it. And so, we're still on the seat of our chairs over here too. Aiden, thanks for the money. Happy Mother's Day to Iris Sager. Happy Mother's Day to Iris Sager. Says, scream it. She's watching the stream. So thank you very much. Mother's Day to Iris. K Elon. Happy Mother's Day to Metacarpal. Thank you for the super chat. Masha Sharoki. People are saying they saw it over Jordan. Okay, another great piece of information. Thank you for the chat as well. This is the great part about social media, is that we are having updates, literally coming in just minutes old, saying this thing is still in orbit. So we are waiting with every moment in time. The odds that it re-enters increases. Abigail Vipperman, thank you very much. Says, from what I can tell, it was all in one piece and very high up. Okay, so that was the Israel report. And so as of that point, it was still very much intact. So at least as of, seems like Israel and the Middle East, there was no re-entry. Will Richardson, shout out to Laura McDougall. So shout out to you, Laura. Thank you for the chat. So very cool. So we do have updates from the pass over the Middle East that was still in orbit, still in one piece, no fireballs yet. So it's now entering out over the Indian Ocean. We'll see if it makes it. Will be interesting to see if when it's sort of revisualized either from people in Sri Lanka or southern India, if anybody sees it there. Eric Griffin says, doggy coin though, Dogecoin. So thank you for the chat, Eric. Vicky, thanks for the chat. I'm in Western Australia. If it does happen to make it close to us, we'll be able to see it in daylight. So you will not see it if it is not re-entering, but if it is re-entering, you could most likely see daytime fireballs. So yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for us. So it won't be as obvious, right, if it's during the day, but it still would likely be bright enough to see. So yeah, really looking forward to those updates. Somebody asking, is it a hoax? Definitely not a hoax. People are seeing it. Andy Fry, Kratos812, thanks for the feed. Can you give Tacy Fry a shout out for being a great dog mom? So Tacy, thanks for being a great dog mom and happy Mother's Day. Glasswell Candle Company, thank you very much for the $5. William Schulberg, happy birthday to Dad. Andy Fry, already did your comment. And apologies if I missed any of these. Michael Smith, thank you very much. They're coming in pretty fast, and I'm kind of going between different feeds here. We're looking to see if we have any data, anything new here. But at least as of the Middle East, it was still in orbit in one piece. We have it from multiple sources coming in.
So Jonathan McDowell, Harvard astronomer, believes that that's a legit video.
Yeah, it looks like people seeing some stuff on Twitter.
But the aerospace
yeah, still one
thinks
piece.
it might have gone down.
It's fairly bright, I think, because it's such a low altitude now. So people are kind of crowdsourcing the visualization of this thing. So very, very cool.
Getting very interesting.
Where social media can be really awesome.
The Aerospace Corporation.
333 Purple Dog. I'm in Perth, next landfall, but it's cloudy.
They say
Bummer.
the absence
Almost
of
where
new
Skylab
data
landed
sets
in
could indicate
1979. I
the
survived
rocket
that,
has
getting
re-entered.
excited.
This fits both our own.
And yeah,
goals
Skylab
to
was what I was
conserve
talking
range
about
of
a
space
couple
travel.
hours ago on the stream, where did a re-entry mostly over the ocean, but pieces ended up landing in Australia, and a lot of those pieces end up in museums. So it ended up being a big tourist attraction, seeing these pieces at this big space station. Husam Yosef, thank you very much for the $10. Says save Sheikh Jarrah, free Palestine. We try not to get too political, but we read the messages that come in. Crazy Ray, $5. Thank you very much. If we are in a 10-mile radius when it crashes, would we feel a quake? So you won't feel a quake from the actual impact of the pieces, but you may hear sonic booms, which could shake your house or would sound like thunder. So you can't rule out sonic booms. Jacob Bryan, thanks for the $5. Says thank you so much for your extensive and thorough coverage. Cheers from Indiana. Thank you very much for the donations. This is really, really helpful. So it's exciting to see everybody watching this together. We're waiting on some kind of next update, continuing to refresh all the feeds and see if there's any radar data. So people still watching it on social media at this point. Is over the Indian Ocean on the way to the southwestern coast of Australia. We know that it was intact as it came over the Middle East, but fairly low altitude. And so we're watching that. So Lexi Aldridge, thank you for the $5. Says thanks for this information. Me and my cousin are very interested in this. We are from Pennsylvania. Well, hi to you and your cousin. And thank you, Hussam Yusuf. Says free Palestine. So people asking, would it create any kind of tidal wave? There will be no tidal wave created from this. The biggest impact is if it lands on some piece of property or a person, right? But the odds of that are very low. At this point, it's traveling over the Indian Ocean. If it were to come down now, it's in a safe spot. Caleb Harrower, thank you for the donation. Is there an estimated time that they're predicting it'll hit? So the answer is, we have passed that point where they originally predicted it would hit. However, there's about a plus or minus an hour time frame on that. So sometime in this next orbit, we think it's going to come down, according to the latest data. And the experts and companies that basically try to look at this data carefully. So continuing to watch the situation. Rocket is currently over the Indian Ocean. Again, this was, thank you, Jackson, for the donation. This was a Long March 5B rocket, carried the Chinese space station to orbit. For whatever reason, they either chose not to deorbit it or they were unable to deorbit it. And so it's currently undergoing a uncontrolled reentry. Okay, so an update, Elzar 760 says, Aerospace Corporation says it may have reentered, absence of new data sets, etc. Okay, so very interesting. So it's possible it could have reentered. We're going to continue to monitor, look for confirmation of that. Daryl Lynn Alvarez, thank you for the $5, says, shout out to my hardworking husband, Tony, from Chicago. So thank you very much. So we're continuing to monitor the situation very carefully. They said absence of new data. I'm not sure if that's referring to on one of the radar stations where they were expecting it or not. We're continuing to watch it. Diego Pardo, thank you very much for that thumbs up. So the orbital ground track is currently over the Indian Ocean. We knew it was intact coming off the coast of the Middle East. So we think that it may, there's some potential it could have come down or be coming down over the Indian Ocean right now. We're awaiting some kind of confirmation. Obviously not a very inhabited area, but we do know it made it through the Middle East. The next possible place where it could be seen would be Australia. It is daylight there, so they won't see it if it's still up. But if it's coming down as fireballs, then it would be visible. Obviously, a lot of land mass over there, so we're awaiting some kind of confirmation here. So if you're in Southwest Australia, now's the time where you start thinking about heading outside and looking for things. Somebody asking, is Hawaii safe? So as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to make it all the way to Hawaii. We'll see though. And even if it does, there's low potential for accident or injury. There's a lot of space on Earth. That's one thing that's nice. There's a lot of open space. It can be deceiving when you live in a city, because you see tons of people. But most places on Earth are still very much uninhabited, which is good when you have these sorts of situations. So I see lots of Australians in the chat. Yeah, definitely looking forward to hearing what you have to say. A couple people asking me, is it radioactive? It would definitely not be radioactive. So no hazard from that. How can it re-entry when re-entry starts at 100 kilometers, 62 miles above the Earth? Sea level and altitude at the moment is approximately 157 kilometers. Yeah. So there are high and low points of the orbit. These orbital elements are based on the latest data that we had from space surveillance radars. This is based on the assumption that it is still in orbit. So because orbits have a high point and a low point on the orbit, it's possible that that the low point of the orbit is already taking it inside the atmosphere, and if that were to happen, it would very rapidly deorbit. Melissa Dunstan, thank you for joining Cabin Crew. Chris B, thank you. Says James Gill is hiding in the corner of his basement in New Jersey. Can you tell him it's safe to come upstairs? Well, James, I would say no need to hide in the basement any longer. Head on upstairs. I don't think it's going to make it to the U.S. It'd be pretty shocking. Champion Gold Gaming, will Brad Pitt be safe? I think most likely, if he's in the United States, pretty safe place right now. I don't think it's going to stay in space that long. You never know, but we'll see. So Bethany Mihai, thank you for the donation. Thank you to everyone who's been asking questions via Super Chat. It really helps us throughout the day get through all this. Eon Boyle, thank you for the donation. Do you think the rocket will be affected by Candace? Not sure what that's quite referring to. Mr. Bretzel Amino, sorry if I get your names wrong. Is Canada safe? So at this point, it looks like North America, it's not going to stay in orbit long enough to reach North America. It'd be pretty surprising if it does. Annabelle, thank you for the donation. Thanks for this. Please shout out to my boyfriend Johannes. We're tuned in. We'll shout out to Johannes. Champion Gold Gaming. Will Mia Khalifa be safe? Hopefully. Megan Ashcroft, North Perth Westfield. Thank you for the donation. And again, these are coming through very quickly, so I do apologize if any of these if I miss any of these. Big Lemon, if it landed on my property, would I own it? So this gets kind of a legal gray area, Oftentimes, for spacecraft, the owners of the spacecraft do claim to have ownership. However, depending on what country it lands in, whether they have local jurisdiction, for that, varies. Greg Tanner, thank you very much for the $2. Says anyone in New Jersey should worry? Question mark. Or I guess my answer is if you're in New Jersey, you should worry. It's most likely either re-entered already, preparing to re-enter. So appreciate that. Somebody asked me, what do you do? So my day job, I do run a company that builds large vertical takeoff drones called Aerial Vehicle Automation. We're building drones that can carry make 1,500 pounds of thrust to carry several hundred pounds at a time. So initially cargo, and then who knows, maybe one day humans, we'll see. But that's what I do in my day job as an engineer and as an executive at that company. Proud.army.family, thank you very much for the $5. Says happy Mother's Day to my beautiful daughter-in-law, Cassandra in Wisconsin. And the other part to what I do is I do cover rocket launches. I've been doing it for about 10 years, from the space shuttle to Falcon 9s, Falcon Heavies, Starship, Atlas 5 rockets, Delta 4 Heavies. I've been fortunate enough to cover a wide variety of rockets and film them on my personal channel, which is David Go Jr., David G-O-J-R. Samantha Belfiore, thank you very much. Can you say hi to Joe McKenzie? He has a tummy ache. Well, I hope, Joe, that your tummy ache gets way better, and hope you're doing well. So at this point, we're approaching the southwestern coast of Australia with this center stage here. And if you're in Australia, now's the time to kind of go outside, start kind of watching the horizon, keeping an eye on this thing, see if you see any kind of fireballs. The state, we're in a sort of a zombie state. We don't know whether this thing is dead or alive at this point. We don't know whether it's re-entered already or still in orbit, but we do know that it's likely coming down soon. It's getting dragged in by the Earth's atmosphere. So I'm going to take a brief moment, just check some of the feeds here, see if the colleagues sent anything. So this will pass almost directly over Perth, Australia, if it is still in orbit. So if you're in Perth, get out there, take a look. Let us know if you see anything. You kind of glance on social media every now and then, people mistake an airplane for the trails, but you do know it was still up as of the Middle East, in Jordan, Saudi Arabia. Of course, it's now been in. Somebody asking, is New Zealand in danger? And so it's your ESM. So the answer is the ground track does go over New Zealand. We don't know whether it's re-entered yet or not, but the ground track does pass over New Zealand, so keep an eye on that. Alex the Goat YouTube says RIP Candace, she got hit by the rocket. So Candace getting kind of trolled here in the chat. Susan Schultz, thank you very much for the $5. So continuing to monitor the situation. So Perth, Australia is kind of the next zone. Megan Ashcroft North Perth Westfield says shout out Brandon, I love you. Give him that shout out there. Maddie Gaga, hey, welcome back again. A massive shout out to my cousin in Australia, Bunduga VIC, Oscar Riddell. He is tuned in. Well, hello to Oscar Riddell. Little JO2 Gaming says, why you is you and me is me? Who knows? That's one of those fundamental questions. The fickle finger of fate, right? Neguenar Nidaye, thanks for the $2. Says, paint on canvas on IG. I want to meet some of y'all.
JR over on YouTube says he lives in Perth and saw it.
Thanks once again to everybody on the super chats. It's been going today. So at this point, we are moments away from the passing of this Chinese Long March 5B stage passing over Australia. If it is still in the air, we don't know. It may have re-entered. We don't know yet. Grayson Powell, thank you very much, saying Steve Kornacki has got nothing on you. BA Method, thank you. Schrodinger's Rocket. So yeah, right at this moment, if you're in Perth, it should be right above you. If it's still up, or if it's gone down the Indian Ocean, there won't be anything. But also, if it's still safely in orbit, you also wouldn't see it because it's in the middle of the day there, so there won't be enough contrast. Jason Jones, thanks for the $10.69 donation. Dogecoin to the moon. Tyler DeVole, thank you for the donation. Will this be observed by the orbit of BOFA? I am not sure. Great question. I don't know off the top of my hand where BOFA is. Mary Stokes, could you say happy birthday to Marissa Bobo? Well, happy birthday to Marissa Bobo. And it's cool, we have this kind of convergence of people from around the world monitoring this in different languages and different places, so I do apologize if I mess up on any pronunciations, but doing my best. Saying Iraq is freaking out from the rocket. Well, you shouldn't be worried about it now. It should have passed you safely. We know that, it did make it out of Saudi Arabia in one piece. So we're continuing to monitor this thing. It's right over Australia right now, about to fly back off the coast. So it looks like it'll pass over the kind of very northern area of Tasmania, and then out to New Zealand after that. So Bertram Whitman, shout out to Tom H. What's up from Northridge? Donna Anderson, thank you for the chat. Shauna K, how unusual is for it to go in orbital velocity like this? Well, not unusual. In fact, many rockets.
It's about to go over Tasmania in Australia, so and then go over New Zealand, unusual. And then if it's still up,
continue to go through these.
It next
Bonnie
is
B
going to
says,
go.
Tell
The
Randy
track
I love him.
would
Well,
take
Bonnie loves you, Randy.
Over
Michael
Mexico.
Haas, where is the rocket.com? Yeah, we don't know. That's the question, right? Money to Mooney Productions, 1172.
What I said
Thank you very
before
much.
is,
Asking,
if
where do babies come
this
from?
thing,
You have to
and it's
open up
nighttime in
your
Orlando,
biology
if
textbook
this
for that.
thing is not confirmed down,
Kind of funny story, even though I'm
by
an
the
engineer now
time
in
it
college,
gets
actually was
to
a biology
Orlando
major
on the
and took
tracker,
extra
I
engineering
will
physics.
run out to the
So go
balcony
figure.
with my binoculars.
I can answer that,
and
but
see
probably
if I
more
can
too much
see
detail
anything.
for the stream. Flyersman,
promise
thank
you
you
I
very
will
much
do
for
that.
the
That's going to be in a little
$35
while
donation.
for it to get there.
Dogelon,
so if you don't have
Dogelon, Musk,
confirmation it's down,
Mars coin is the new thing.
by the time
Mars.
it gets to Florida, I will
Dogelon,
certainly
Mars coin.
go out to my balcony with my binoculars. Okay, it is about to go
Mashna
over
Sharoki,
Tasmania.
thanks again.
State
Some
of
people are saying the
Africa
rocket is
if
down.
it's
Again,
not
not sure
down.
if it's true or not yet on Twitter. So we're keeping an eye on that as well. We're
Okay.
still waiting for some kind of
So
formal
we'll
confirmation, either from one of the radar surveillance sites, or waiting for confirmation in the terms of a video of reentry occurring. So at this point, possible it may be down, as we've been saying, but we don't know yet. So I am seeing some indications on Twitter claiming that there may have been reentry, but we're unverified as of right now. We know it made it off the coast of the Middle East. So as of right now, we're getting ready to, we're passing south of Australia. Next landfall would be kind of just northern Tasmania. Here's a bit here. So just continuing to monitor the chat here. Thank you very much for the super chats. Apologize if I missed any. Kamalab FB, thank you very much. Palmeiras, Nao, Tan, Mundial. I don't know if I said that correctly, but thanks. Ceci, thank you. Went to the live chat here. Eva Jordan saying, thanks for the $5. I am eating a granola bar right now, and it is absolute gas. So thanks for that one. Vicky, no re-entry over Perth, Western Australia. Okay, so thank you for the update, Vicky. That's awesome. Good, solid information there. Appreciate you following up and donating as you did it. Salty Dog 001, thank you very much. Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful, kind, and golden-hearted Shannon Yost. So happy Mother's Day, Shannon. Thanks for the donation. Can I get a shout out to Cody and Taylor Andrews from Auckland, New Zealand? So, shout out to Cody and Taylor.
This? Breaking news.
Hope we don't get hit.
Breaking news.
We'll see.
Space Track.
Shout out to Exotic
retweeted
Leopard
this.
92. He's my bro.
This is a
So,
retweet
at this
by
point,
retweet by U.S.
If you're in Southern Australia, keep an eye out for any
by
kind of fireball show.
U.S.
Even kind of the
Space
Sydney
Agency
region. Keep an eye out.
website.
Anywhere in this sort of gray or bluish circle could potentially see it. And if
Just
it is re-entry,
retweeted by
there
Space
is a
Track.
Fireball
This is a
re-entry.
U.S. Space Agency
Likely to see it
website.
during the day, as long as there's not clouds blocking you. So keep an eye out there. But you can see from the ground track,
Once they get radar
flight over
confirmation
kind of the
of
northern
nothing in
part
orbit,
of Tasmania and then
after
flight over
11
New
p.m.
Zealand.
in about 15 minutes, they will release the final message with time.
Trevor
you can all
Gretzky,
stop
thank
hiding in
you.
your bunkers.
Marshall
Breaking
Dines,
news.
thank you.
This
I want to
was
wish Lisa Dines a
retweeted
happy Mother's
by
Day
the
from
U.S.
Alex
Space
Ventura.
Agency. Okay, again,
Richard
space
Gruber.
travel.
Is Papa
That's what
John
the US
Shatner, the man
Space
who once
Agency
ate
posts
40
their-
pizzas in
posts their
30
stuff.
days, going to be okay?
They just
Hopefully.
retweeted this. Mother of all launches, maybe
Kristen
he
Lopez,
works, he or
thank
she
you.
works for
Kia,
them, says spoke with the
Haha,
team.
New Zealand, we got
We
this,
have
we always do.
indications the rocket
Well,
is
anybody,
down.
yeah, anybody in
Once
any of these
they
areas,
get radar
please do keep me
confirmation
updated.
of
If
nothing
you
in
see
orbit, after
it's all
3
updated. You've got
UTC. Now 3
44,000 people
UTC
here
is
who
in
wanna know,
15 minutes. It's
what's
11
going on with this.
Eastern
The whole
time.
world is
They
watching.
will then release the final message with time. You all can stop hiding
So
in your
continuing
bunkers.
to check here.
So it has not been confirmed.
Still no formal
But
confirmation that it
That's
has
a
landed at this
decent
point.
indication. I'd say it's a pretty good chance it's down.
Oh, this is kind of
Breaking
interesting.
news.
So I am seeing
Breaking news. Let's see if
something
anyone
on
else
Twitter showing
follows.
potentially
Follow this account.
fireball in Oman, but too early to tell whether that is it or not. We did have
Any
reports
other
from.
updates, but that's a huge update. That's a big update.
Okay, Anthony Quintano, thank you for the $50, saying Chinese rocket down over Indian Ocean according to Chinese government. Okay, very interesting. Let's see if we can get a confirmation. This thing may be down. It's possible. So continuing to check
Again,
here.
I'm just gonna. This is the latest I'm seeing. And again, the
So
key
still waiting
here
on
is
formal
that this
confirmation.
was
China's Human
retweeted.
Spaceflight Agency predicts
This
Landmark
spacecraft
5B reentry
is-
occurred at 2
they-
UTC today, plus or minus 15
US
minutes.
Strategic
So that's a prediction based on the
Posts
orbital
information
elements.
on
But
spacecraft.
once
This
again,
is a
until we
government-run
have radar
account.
confirmation or we have
Space track.
video,
They retweeted
then
this. They're the ones making the
we don't
predictions.
know.
They're the ones we've been.
Okay, continue to look here.
forwarding the predictions.
Read some
That-
super
that's-
chats.
this
Thank
is
you very
the
much.
mouthpiece of US Space
Anna Drew
Agency predictions.
Pramil, thank you very much.
So this is
Rick
like an
R
official US
says,
government
was worried
account.
about my wedding next month in New Jersey. Shout out to my fiance Megan. Love you.
Okay.
Thanks for covering and
Spoke with the
pray all are
team.
safe.
Mother of all launches.
And Trevor Gretzky, thank you again for the
Down.
chat as well. And once again, apologize if
Nothing
there
in
are
orbit
any super
after
chats I've missed.
11 p.m. Eastern, 13 minutes
they're,
from
they're
now.
moving very
They
quickly
will
here.
release the
Sometimes
final
I'm
message with time.
multitasking,
You all
so
can stop
apologize when
hiding
you're
in.
missed, but at this point,
Wow.
if this thing is still in the
Okay,
air,
let's see.
it would be headed
We're
towards New
waiting
Zealand
for
right now.
confirmation here. We're waiting for confirmation.
And so the Chinese government is saying they think it, based on their orbital elements, that it would be down in the Indian Ocean, but we don't know for sure. You know, their guesses is likely not any better than ours. They don't have likely any better data necessarily than we do. Leslie Vianet, thank you very much for the $5 chat. Appreciate it. So yeah, just kind of waiting on further information here. At this point, if it is still up, it would be approaching New Zealand. So anybody still in southeastern Australia now, you know, let us know what's going on for sure. I'm just checking my messages here, see if there's anything new. Okay, so my colleague just did post. Important. CZ5B China has announced that the estimated time of reentry will be at 10:12 plus 15 minutes on May 9th. At the center of the reentry area will be located 28.38 east longitude and 34.43 north latitude Chinese rocket. And so we're still trying to confirm that, if that is actually down or not. Somebody is saying, spacetrack.org, that they spoke with the team. We have indications the rocket is down. Once they get radar confirmation of nothing in orbit, which will be at after 0300 UTC, they will release a final message with time. You all can start hiding in your bunkers. So there are some people, various sources, now kind of getting more and more credible that this thing may be down.
Guy Jimmy says,
But we're still...
let's sue for emotional damages. I've been drinking in fear for hours, I swear.
So hopefully in around 10 minutes or so, we'll have some formal notification here.
Rock Bear says, sources are wrong.
KCG, thank you very much for the $5. Would you mind promoting my hubby's YouTube channel? Coffee Pot Space Dad. It's about family life topics. If not, I understand. Happy face. Well, happy to read out super chats as they come in. That's the benefit. Tyler DeVole, thank you very much for the $10. The astronaut Yuri Ritart said this could land in Europe, but of course it seems like seems like most of the sources are now converging on possibly a landing in the Indian Ocean. We're still awaiting confirmation. We'll see if on this expected radar update around 3 UTC, which is in about 10 minutes from now, if this thing actually went down. Joseph Fish, 1966, thanks for the super chat. So if it is down, it would appear that it was sometime after passing over the Middle East and before it reached Australia. We're still awaiting though. Ashley Page, thank you very much. She says, I'm in Allendale, South Australia, and saw absolutely nothing in the sky, just a few clouds, but enough clarity to see any kind of light show. So good to know. So we're getting a lot of reports that people saw it in the Middle East, in Oman, in Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and then people were not seeing anything in Australia so far. So it does support that it's possible that it went down in the Indian Ocean. We're waiting that final confirmation. So we are all in this together, just kind of seeing what the final outcome of this is. Is it down? Is it still up? If it is still up, it would be going over New Zealand right now. So anybody in New Zealand, please take a look for us. Let us know. Let us know in the chat whether it's down. Happy Mother's Day to Susan Bobo. Thanks, Murray Strokes, for the chat. So kind of like as I've been talking about the whole time, if it does end up in the ocean, that was always the most likely outcome. El Eco Loco, thank you very much for the chat. Happy Mother's Day to Yolanda. Mike Bowers, Safe Moon Token to the Moon, thank you for the donation. Maka Framala Lama, live long and prosper. Live long and prosper to you as well. As Spock would say. Johannes Flush, Annabelle, I love you so much. I can't wait to see you in 15 sleeps. Lil J02 Gaming, also Hot Dog Water 52. He's my bro too. So thank you very much for those chats, guys. So at this point, should be over now the far, basically eastern coast of New Zealand at this point. Be curious to hear if anybody there has seen anything. It does seem we are getting reports that it may be down, according to
Janice
many different sources.
She saw it.
We are long past our, the estimate of when the window began for reentry. So, Mari D'Angelo, happy Mother's Day to Cheryl Ann from her puppy Robster. Trevor Gretzky, I'm in the doghouse. Can you help me cheer up my girlfriend? We love the channel. Well, Trevor's girlfriend, I hope you get Trevor out of the doghouse soon. He's sure been nice to us today, so we really appreciate it. Okay, continuing to monitor the feeds here. Hoping for an update here in about 6 minutes. So lots of reports coming in about an Indian Ocean landing still. Still trying to confirm those with some sort of solid radar, situation where the object is missing from the radar. Still looking at multiple sources, still radar confirmation awaiting. At this point, it is now flying out of the New Zealand zone. Be curious if anybody in New Zealand saw it. Chris B, thanks for the play-by-play. James Gill finally came up from the basement. Well, good. Glad James is finally out of the basement. Or it's safe now, it appears to be. Masha Sharoki, thank you very much once again. Says Jonathan McDowell, insiders at Space Force reporting that data indicates that the rocket has indeed re-entered, but awaiting for confirmation, i.e. it correctly fails to show up on radar next time around. Okay, so it seems like some of the Space Force folks, the experts in all this, do think it may be down, but awaiting that radar definitive confirmation that it's missing. Pamela FB for Bolsonaro, thank you for the donation. Specs SZN says, I saw the rocket 2 minutes ago in Melbourne. I got it on film. Okay, interesting. Well, if you have it on film, feel free to post it on Twitter and it will get passed around disseminated. So we'll see here. So at this point, the rocket center core stage, again, this thing was launched the Chinese space station up. Just to kind of give a quick recap, has been going through an uncontrolled reentry. We don't know yet whether it is down or not. There are a lot of experts who seem to think it most likely is, but everybody also agrees to wait for radar confirmation. So shout out to Rob the Pfeiffer. Long live Prog Rock. Michael House, thank you for the chat. So just awaiting confirmation. At this point, if it is still up, it is in the southern Pacific Ocean, and it is going on a very long cruise over absolutely nothing. No land, just huge ocean, and for thousands and thousands of miles. So at this point, we're just waiting for some kind of confirmation. Debo, thanks for the $5. Can you do a shout out to Chandel and tell her Happy Mother's Day? Well, Chandel, Happy Mother's Day. Happy to do it. So we all watch this interesting historical event go down. What'll be interesting are what kind of happens after this is all over. Will the Chinese kind of aim to deorbit their rockets or not? Will lessons be learned from this? It'll be interesting to find out. Elise Kappener, thank you very much for the chat. Aloha. Happy almost birthday, Bree. So thank you very much for the $15 super chat. Awesome. And thank you for the $10 super chat from Mike as well. Every little bit helps and helps us to cover these types of events. If you liked, commentary today, and if you liked everything that was going on, we do appreciate. Finances are tough, but anything you're able to donate is awesome.
Fred.
But at this point, we're still awaiting the fate of this.
China said it re-entered.
Core stage.
Fred said China also said they didn't start C-19.
And the definitive proof will come if we hear from one of the space surveillance radar teams that something's missing. So we're waiting for that. Still checking. Have more confirmations from Israel that it was visible when it passed over Israel. So here's what we know. We have lots of videos and confirmations that it passed over Israel, passed over the Middle East, passed over Saudi Arabia, Jordan. And then at some point between there and Australia, we weren't able to see it again. But then again, if it was still up, we wouldn't see it during the day because it's the middle of the day for Australia. So we'll continue to monitor this. Damien Greenwell, thank you for the chat. Huge shout out to all the mothers, and a double shout out to the mothers who are on the front lines battling COVID as nurses. So much love. So absolutely second that a million times. It's been a difficult last year for everybody. And it's nice that we can all be united to watch some space news together. Heather the lawyer, thank you for the chat. Can you say hi to Sophia from her mom Heather? Well, Sophia, Mom Heather says, your mom Heather says hello. Thank you very much for the 3,000 yen. I unfortunately can't read your name, but best wishes. Robert Hampson Music, thank you for the 5. Hi from Scotland, UK. I don't think the rocket has landed yet, as the UK news is still saying it's not landed yet. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, if anybody's new.
I think they're probably in the same kind of la-la land that we are, where we're awaiting some kind of formal confirmation. We have a lot of experts saying that it should have gone down by now. We know that it, made it out of the Middle East. We don't know anything beyond that yet. We haven't seen any videos yet. Izzy Chi, thank you for the chat.
Yeah, if anybody's new, I only use live streams and try to see what's going on.
Frank Rosiak, shout out to Frank, and shout out Happy Mother's Day to my perfect wife, Yasmin. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. At this point, if this rocket stage is still in the air, it would be over the southern Pacific Ocean. Just continuing to monitor it at this point, see if we get a formal radar confirmation. We are seeing kind of conflicting information on whether it's down or not. We do have at least one report that somebody claims to have seen it, but sometimes things can be confusing. So we're still trying to determine whether that's accurate or not. Just doing another search here. Latest. Thank you very much for the chat. And yeah, appreciate the kind words here. Kirk Bidwell, thanks for the coverage. Been watching all night. Happy to be here. Happy to talk some orbital reentry stuff. Fun stuff. Just checking the latest updates here. Still awaiting formal confirmation here. So, if for some reason it does make it to land still, if it has not landed,
Joe Smith says,
looks like we would be almost
what if
reaching
it
Mexico
lands on my house? Then what? That's considered an act of God,
on this next
and
orbit.
insurance
So we
will
will
not
see.
cover it. Same thing if it gets hit
So
by
It
lightning.
is 3 UTC, so we're just waiting for somebody
It's a
to make
legal term.
tweet about that last data here, or to see if we get an update off the space surveillance website directly. So we're looking at that. Thank you for the super chat. Hello from Japan. I hope not harm anyone. Happy Mother's Day. Well, we all hope the same thing. Odds are it's down the ocean somewhere, but we're waiting.
Thank you, Dolores,
Thanks for the new membership from Templeton. Welcome to
for your
Cabin.
support.
And if you like this channel, we do urge you to subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. If you like me, my personal YouTube is David Go Jr. David Gojr. Again, David Gojr. We're here to cover space launch events for you. We're going to be covering a lot of other future space events, whether it be launches,
Make sure I got his tag
landings,
right.
as the SpaceX program to
Double check
fly,
this.
astronauts to Mars and to the moon continues. We're going to be all over that. So if you like what you see here today and you like this kind of coverage, there's a lot of good knowledge we can bring to those areas as well. And thank you for the chat. Take Note 101. Happy Mother's Day to
Yeah,
your
we're
wife,
good.
Sarah. So it looks like we do have some recent footage. Happy Mother's Day there. So it looks like we do have some recent footage getting put up here. Probably one of the passes over the Middle East, perhaps. We'll see. Well, let me see. Let me actually talk to my colleague here and see what this was. So waiting confirmation on that. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the 1,000 yen. Tora, Invoke. Thank you very much.
Page. Peace be with you and thank you.
Seeing some interesting tweets here. Let me
Hope
just see if
everybody's
this is
doing well.
further tweets here before I announce it.
Hey Arlene, good to have you from Tennessee.
So there are, some people posting videos of the 2015 reentry of the ATV Jules Verne capsule, claiming it's the Chinese rocket. So like anything on social media, you've gotta be extra careful to make sure that the information is correct. Do you see video from Israel if it's still intact? But yeah, still awaiting confirmation. A video from Oman looks like a long tail, like it was burning up or breaking up, maybe. So yeah, if that footage from Oman does indeed end up being genuine, it does appear like there is streaming going on, like it is in the process of reentry, but we don't know yet if that is correct video or not. Because again, people like to kind of pull hoaxes. They know that people are looking for this kind of video on Twitter, and they go on there and they post an old video, or they. So we're awaiting confirmation. Lisa Thompson, thank you very much. Hello from Michigan. Thank you for doing this. So you're very, very welcome. It's been fun to share the evening here on the weekend with you all. This has definitely been fun. Okay, so just still awaiting that radar confirmation. We were expecting that around 3 UTC, which has passed. We're about 5 minutes past that, so hopefully any minute we'll get some news. If this thing is still up, and that's a big if, it's looking more likely than not that it's down, but if it is still up, then next landfall would be southern Mexico, just north of Guatemala and Nicaragua. So a few answers, will it hit Texas? It seems like almost no chance of that. It likely is, could be down at this point. We're just waiting for the formal confirmation before we call it. But really appreciate all the viewership on the stream and on space. I think it's a exciting time to be alive, where you have, being in a space age where things go right a lot of the time, and sometimes things go wrong. But that's part of the journey. And it is nice to see that other countries like China are getting to space and improving their programs as well. I think it helps all of humanity to have competition and different ways of getting things done. Snazzy 2.0, thank you very much for the chat. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you, Snazzy, for helping us out. Zara Phils, thank you for the chat as well. Thanks so much for the commentary and maps. Super helpful. Well, thank you. So the thinking right now is that it may be down. But once again, we're just kind of awaiting any kind of formal confirmation. Thank you for the chat. Asha says, Jacob Bergen, I love you. So at this point, it is flying, across the day-night terminator. Now it's in the middle of the ocean. So if somebody was around there, they'd be able to see it if it was still, in space. But we're very quickly headed into nighttime here over Mexico. And if it does not appear visible there, that definitely would be a data point. The other thing is, since it is approaching kind of the very southern tip of North America, with being in Mexico, kind of Central America, I would hope that we'd be in range of some of the United States Air Force's space surveillance radars. So we should have some update here sometime soon. Vicky, thank you very much once again. Thanks so much for this being super interesting, and your commentary has been A+. Well, hey, really appreciate that. We'll have to do some more of these in the future. This is, believe it or not, my first time doing one of these live streams, so it's fun to do one. I usually shoot videos of rocket launches and landings and that sort of stuff, and do a lot of engineering. So it's fun to come out here and talk technical stuff with everybody. So. So it will be interesting with this Mexico pass. If we don't get any videos from there, that definitely would be a data point. And Ethan, if you do see any updates, please message me so I can relay them. Okay, looks like I got something here. Repster123, thank you very much. Your message says Space Force has reportedly said that it has re-entered. Jonathan McDowell tweeted. Okay, so we'll check on that right now. If so, that would be good news. It would likely indicate it dropping into the Indian Ocean. And we are seeing that. Insiders, here's the tweet. Insiders at Space Force reporting that data indicates the rocket has indeed re-entered, but still waiting for confirmation, i.e. correctly, it fails to show up on radar next time around, presumably somewhere between the Middle East and Australia. Stay tuned. And then 1 minute ago, an update, still waiting for Space Force confirmation, but indications are with low to moderate confidence the rocket probably came down somewhere over the Indian Ocean. Okay, so that matches very, very much what we've been saying based on the available information. So that's the latest. Hopefully we get an official Space Force, we'll call it and say, okay, it's down. We will see. Honey Clouds, thank you. This is very helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much too for the donation. We will stay here until we get some kind of radar confirmation. This thing is indeed down. If it is still up, it's approaching the southern area of Mexico. And if it is still up after that, it could actually make a pass on southern Florida. But it does appear that this thing is most likely in the Indian Ocean some minutes ago. A-Rod, thank you for the $100 super chat. You're the best. Says, thank you for sharing educational and informative data. We thank you. If you're ever in Chicago, let me know, and I'll give you a free haircut. Well, thank you very much, A-Rod. I really, really appreciate it. I know from the whole team here at Infinite Space, it means a lot to hear that the coverage was helpful and informative, and it's been an adventure watching this thing come down. So we will see. So already getting an update from retweeted by Jonathan McDowell. He says the CNSA/CMS official account on Weibo confirms that Long March 5 CZ-5B booster has re-entered at 2:24 UTC, May 9th. The location of the re-entry is 72.47 degrees east, 2.65 degrees north. The CMS website appears to be down now. So apparently they made that post and then people are kind of swarming it to try to see more information, but it has crashed the website. So it is possible that this thing's down. We're continuing to get information that leads us to think it's down. Another update from Jonathan McDowell. China now reporting that it is down.
There, right there. 72.47
Right
east,
over the
2.65
Maldives
north.
Islands,
So
which is in the Indian
China,
Ocean.
China's space agency
So they're
says
saying now reporting
that's the re-entry.
rocket re-entered at 2:24 UTC
For what
and
it's worth.
72.47
That has
east,
not been confirmed by anyone
2.65
else.
degrees north, which is right over the Maldives. You can pull that up on Google Earth.
Off
If
southwest
correct, will
of
be
India.
interesting to see if we get any reports from there. So that is a populated island. Yeah, it would be real fascinating
Again,
if somebody happened to get a
Ye
view out there in the
Quanji,
Indian
who
Ocean.
is an astronomer, and this is retweeted
So
by Jonathan
interesting.
McDowell, says the Chinese National Space Agency official account on Weibo confirms that the rocket booster has re-entered at 2:24
also good information that we're
Universal
getting,
Time, about 50 minutes ago.
specific
The location
coordinates.
of the re-entry
Seems
is
to
the one I
maybe
just showed
indicate
you.
maybe there was some
The
radar data or
website
something to
appears to
support
be
that.
down. What is this?
But we will see. We will see. Hopefully, in this
I
world of
can't get
phones,
that.
somebody could have gotten a shot of
Hang
it.
on. Is there another post? Here it is. See, look.
As you can see
Jonathan
here, we're-
McDowell says China is
colleague
now
is
reporting
looking
that
to,
the rocket
find a
re-entered at
possible location where
2:24
they're indicating
Universal
it might
Time
have-
at that location,
might
which is
drop.
right over
If
the
it is
Maldives.
still here,
Right over the
it
Maldives.
would be coming right over the horizon of
If
Mexico.
correct, it will be interesting to see if we get reports from there. Right over the Maldives.
So
All right,
Ethan,
the
the Maldives
Maldives,
are
let's
kind
talk
of
about
over,
the Maldives.
to the southwest of Sri Lanka, if you're able to locate that.
The Maldives is a small archipelagic state in South Asia. It's a series of islands. The Maldives. The population of the Maldives is, let's see.
Yeah, this has been really an exciting
380,000,
evening
according to
following
Wikipedia.
this drama of this rocket reentry. It really
It's
is,
island countries that
quite the-
consist of
quite
an
the story.
archipelago. Archipelago is an island group or
This
island
kind of
chain,
thing
a chain
happens
cluster or collection
from
of
time to
islands.
time,
So,
but it's
the
unusual when you have this
Maldives
23-ton
is
object.
southwest of India,
fall
or south of India, and it's an island nation. And the point here, where
There's the Maldives.
so
It does appear to be
China
off the ground
said
track,
it
so I'm
went
a
down
little
there,
skeptical
which
of
is
those
in the
reports, but
Maldives, I guess, in the middle of those islands.
We'll see as we get more information here.
Yeah, that's in the Maldives, exactly. These islands are the Maldives, the ones you're seeing on the screen. So Maybe some debris fell in the Maldives. I hope it didn't hurt anyone.
Super chat from Andrew Blaine says, "Thank you for the stream." Well, thank you, Andrew, for joining us and
Let me change my headline too.
seeing what's going on with this thing.
China rocket went down near Maldives. Not when China says.
So still no official Space Force confirmation, or hopefully get that soon. Jonathan McDowell making another tweet saying an ocean reentry was always statistically the most likely. It appears China won its gamble, unless we get news of debris in the Maldives, but it was still reckless according to him.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
I
the
will
rocket
say,
is
it'd be
down.
nice in the future
The rocket
if
is
China can get those reentries from uncontrolled to controlled. I think
Space
people would breathe a lot
U.S.
easier.
Space Agency Spacetrack confirms the
and probably a lot
rocket is
less,
down.
stress
Spacetrack. This is
over-
U.S. government. Everyone else following the rocket reentry can relax. The rocket is down. You can see all relevant
once again, I do see
information
some
and
questions.
updates
How
here
will we
on
know if
Twitter,
it landed?
Facebook, so there's
It
no
does
need
appear
to
it
keep
most
visiting
likely
the
has landed due to various
spacetrack.org
reports,
website.
with the Chinese government.
Spacetrack says
However,
the rocket
we
is
are,
down.
Still awaiting radar data. Radar should have come around 3 UTC, which was about 50 minutes ago.
There's
So
no
we're
more
just-
information they
we're
give,
hoping,
but they say the
maybe
rocket
they're
is
just
down.
carefully looking at that data, making sure they're
So
not
they are
missing
announcing
anything
it as
before
well.
they
That's
make an announcement, but I do think more likely than not it came down somewhere in the Indian Ocean between the Middle
So
East.
if you're watching, if you're
Saudi
watching this,
Arabia,
you're okay.
and the coast of Australia. So
Excuse
we're
me.
just trying to get confirmation.
You can relax. Sorry, I drank some water the wrong way. If you are watching this, you're okay. Oh my gosh.
Lots of people saying that the rocket's down.
Let's see. So we have China saying it's down.
If it was to still be up,
Oh,
it would
breaking
be
news.
passing over
People's Daily now
southern
says
Mexico
it.
right now. So if you do happen to be in southern Mexico and
Chinese
you go out
state
there,
media reports
take a
the
look,
rocket
just in
re-entered
case.
the atmosphere over the
Until you
Indian
have that
Ocean
formal
near the Maldives.
confirmation,
Breaking
you know,
news.
it's sort of
People's
in-
Daily,
sort of in limbo.
which is state media. The remnants
Loki
of
Tum Tum,
China's
thank you very much.
Long March
Past Georgia
5G
now.
rocket has re-entered the Earth's
Really,
atmosphere at this place, which we
I'm
showed
not
you
sure if you're talking about
before,
Georgia the country or
at
Georgia
10:24
the
a.m.
state,
PM BJT.
but it does appear
was
that it
about,
most likely is
less
down
than
in
an hour
the
ago,
Indian Ocean.
56 minutes ago.
Sophia Murillo, thank you for the chat, says video of
So
Twitter
they're
user
saying it in their,
WTF while
in
by
their
who lives in the Middle
People's
East. Where
Daily.
you can see the rocket with a bright yellow glow. Looks like it's on fire. Okay, so I'll go check that out. See what's going on there. We did have that video, possibly from Oman, that
Jonathan McDowell
that
says
showed
an ocean re-entry
looked like
was
an
always
object with
statistically the
kind of
most
plasma
likely.
trail going
It
behind
appears
it. So
China
it's
won
very
its
possible
gamble
that this thing
unless
was
we
starting
get
to
news of
its
debris
re-entry
in
as
the
it
Maldives,
left the Middle
but it was
East.
still reckless. So again,
and then ultimately
China,
probably came down in the
usually this doesn't
somewhere in
happen.
the Indian
Usually
Ocean.
when countries
That's the
launch rockets,
best
they-
information we have at this point.
They control the rockets. They arrange it so that the rocket's going to fall in some harmless area. China did not do
Looking at
that.
that video,
They didn't do it
by no
last
means
year
definitive.
when they launched a
could be-
similar rocket to this one. They
that
just
could be
sent
a
the
high
rocket
altitude
up
trail being
and
lit by
they
sunlight.
just
So
left it. Apparently,
definitely wouldn't say that
this
video is definitive.
100-foot
but
long
we'll
piece of
look at it.
rocket would just
We'll see.
circle around the Earth.
Thanks for
and
sharing
land
anyway, though.
wherever, and then come down, wherever it may.
Okay, continuing to look at this thing here. Christian Davenport making a tweet says there was a big public outcry after China shot down a dead weather satellite in 2007, causing a huge debris field that still causes problems today. Many U.S. officials think only public pressure will prevent another spent rocket stage reentry problem like the one we saw today. So that is something that, what is the aftermath of this whole event? And these next 2 Chinese space station modules too are supposed to fly on the same rocket. So let's hope that perhaps China will kind of see the public outcry and see that people were kind of worrying about this and everything, and will maybe try a little harder on the deorbiting or fix whatever problem kept them from doing it. Let's hope for a better future with fewer multi-ton, 20-ton objects falling out of the sky. Whitney Rundledge, thank you for the for the super chat. She reports that Space Track on Twitter confirmed it's down. So we'll take a look at that. Space Track on Twitter. See if they're referencing any radar data or not. Yeah, so spacetrack.org is generally a pretty reliable source for information. So still no radar confirmation, but obviously there seems to be strong indications that it's likely down by now. So okay, well at this point, it may be down, but if you are in the southern region of Florida, and you do, if it is by some strange reason still up, we would appreciate reports over Florida at this point. It would be starting to become visible about 45 degrees high in the sky, and it will pass over south central Florida. So if you are in those areas, let me know if you see anything. Most likely down, but obviously would like to have some final confirmation for this.
I got something. I got a video from a viewer. Thank you. Give me a second.
See, get some more tweets here. Yeah, just further confirmation going from China, CNSA, CMS official account, confirming that it re-entered.
1 sec.
So really Florida will be the last kind of look at it, I think. Whitney Brutledge, thank you for the $5, says, I'm in Tampa and outside watching. Perfect. See if anything comes overhead. I think at this point we'd all be surprised if it's still up.
I have a video for you guys,
but,
commented in by a viewer. Stand by.
We will see.
Wow, nice shot. Thank you. One moment.
Stephen Childress, thank you. Welcome to Captain. Thank you for joining.
All right.
I'm just having an internal discussion here with my colleagues here about where, if it did land in the Maldives, what those coordinates went to. Would be somewhat north of the ground track, so I'm not totally 100% sure on that, but it likely did go down the Indian Ocean. But according to those coordinates from the Chinese government, it would have been very close to an island.
Whether new or old, it's still a pretty high quality shot. Thanks again.
But it also does appear kind of more north of the ground track than we would have maybe have expected. So we'll see. We'll see. Jennifer Tirado, welcome to Cabin Crew. Thank you very much. So at this point, if it is still up, it would be over the Gulf of Mexico, getting ready to make an appearance in Florida. Oh, actually, I would have already passed Florida. My screen lagged a little bit. Well, Jason Sutton, thank you for the super chat. And Masha Sharoki, hi, thank you for the chat. Aerospace Corporation tweeted confirmation from spacetrack.org, Long March 5B is down. So it seems to be the consensus at this point that it has landed in the Indian Ocean between the Middle East and Australia, the coast of Australia. Still possibly around the Maldives, although that report's a little bit unconfirmed because it seems to be a little further north of the ground track than expected. But we will see. Hopefully somebody got some video somewhere, and we can kind of get some closure on all this. But very cool, very cool. Jennifer Tirado updates us. Thank you for the super chat. Outside now, live in DeLand, Florida, by Ocala National Woods. So it's pitch black, and so going to look. Shout out to Savannah and Amy. We are all looking. So cool. So we've got some good spotters that were on the ground there in Florida.
Oh my gosh.
And
Where
doesn't
did they
seem
come
like
from? I guess
it
different
has made it that
locations
far.
That one came from
Jared
Maldives.
Kennard, thanks for the chat. Happy Mother's Day to my wife
local
Lori
planes.
Mick
This is
Kuckinger from
amazing.
her husband Barry. So happy Mother's Day to you,
know what?
Lori.
I'll take it back. Unless they normally have this many planes, maybe these are just normal planes. So I'll say this.
Well,
I
do
don't
encourage
know-
everybody
I
who's
don't
here
know how many
to
planes
yeah
normally fly in the Maldives.
to subscribe
What
to
I
this
can
channel.
tell you is
You know, we're going to
there's a
continue
lot
to
of planes
cover
in this area,
space events
all in the
here.
exact same area. But
Somebody
maybe
says I've
this
been
is
watching from
normally
Miami.
like tourist planes.
And
right?
nothing
I
here.
don't know.
Ninja, Ninja 2, thank you very much for
there
the
are a
super
lot of
chat
planes
and for
there.
giving us the update. Yeah, it
So I don't
seems
know. We'll have to
seems
see.
very unlikely that it's still in
I
orbit at
wonder
this
if this is
point. You know,
going.
we're running on old orbital elements.
These are small.
Haven't
too.
been updated
These aren't like jet liners.
now for some time. You know, still no confirmation from the United States
They're
Space
island
Force,
hoppers.
but you know, they may be waiting for multiple different radar acquisitions to show that it's missing before they formally call it. But at this point, does appear that it came down somewhere in the Indian Ocean, according to consensus of experts everywhere. So for anybody interested in space news, you know, Christian Downport reporting the Long March 5B is down, possibly in the Indian Ocean. He says Elon Musk is up, definitely live from New York. So from one space news area to another. Bucktang, thank you very much for the super chat. Yo, can you say Happy Mother's Day to Sharina? Thank you. Well, Happy Mother's Day, Sharina. Also really appreciate the super chat. Ace Orbit. What's up, E-Train? Thank you for the chat. Gift Marima, thanks for the $5. Says, so the whole this time you're bluffing. I wasted 5 hours. So you can't be trusted because the predicted time is out. Well, it does actually appear that the predicted time was very close. You know, we had said it would be plus or minus an hour. We saw it go over the, you know, it was kind of estimating originally, and the last data we had was that it would come down perhaps, you know, most likely in the Mediterranean. Appears to have flown a little longer, maybe another 15, 20 minutes or so. But then all reports indicating that it came down in the Indian Ocean. So do appreciate your support. You know, these are always estimates based on very, very complicated rocket science, drag calculations, data processing, and ultimately, it looks like it came down very close to when the predicted time was. So.
Bear in mind,
But the good
China
news is it appears
is the
that
one who
you
said
know
it was
hasn't
down.
hasn't landed on anybody, at least as of yet. No news stories of that, and most likely came down in the Indian Ocean, off somewhere between the Middle East and the western coast of Australia.
You got to go to India.
So a lot of ocean on this planet, lots of places to absorb things like that without hurting anybody. So that's good news, and we're always happy to hear that.
There's the Maldives now. It's that. Big boats here.
Crazy Ray, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you for keeping us updated on the rocket. You're very welcome.
I assume there's boats around there normally anyway. So
you know what's cool is between radar updates, these companies that do reentry estimates and social media. You know, it's cool. We're able to track track these objects and you know, to a pretty reasonable point, figure out where they landed halfway across the world. So pretty amazing. GRD 11 friends, YouTube. Thank you very much for the donation. What will happen if it lands in your state? Well, at this point, it looks like it won't land in your state. It looks like it's going to land. It landed in the Indian Ocean already. You know, we're still kind of awaiting the absolute confirmation for that, but you know, at this point, it seems that it most likely came down somewhere in the Indian Ocean. The Chinese have given coordinates. You know, seem a little bit too far north of the ground track potentially, but it does appear that we might have seen some plasma coming off, coming off the stage as it, as it departed the Middle East, and then we know that it most likely didn't make it to Australia. So we know that it went down somewhere in that big wide ocean out there. It likely splashed down and maybe only disturbed a few fish.
That's in the Maldives. It's
Reina, thank you for the super chat. Apparently the rocket is down, according to the Chinese government. Not sure though. And yeah, that's kind of where we all are right now. We're just presumably it's missing on the radars by now, I would expect. But and for anybody interested, pinned a comment, join the Discord server. So if you're interested in this kind of space stuff, rocketry, launches, landings, we're entering into a new era of exciting reusable rockets with a lot of the Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Starship stuff. So be sure to join that Discord and follow us there. Well, still monitoring the chat to see if there's any further information or questions coming in. Hopefully the whole point of this too was to hopefully keep everybody calm and collected, that there was always very low risk of it hitting anybody or causing any damage or even landing on land at all. So Nika, thank you very much for the chat. Gavanka, Nika loves you so much. So Gavanka, you're very loved by Nika. So we haven't heard of any reports either in Mexico, in Australia, New Zealand, or in Florida that this thing was visible. So last report was really out in the Middle East. We're kind of enlarging this video. That's purportedly the last video of it. We will see. It'll be interesting if we end up getting some more firm data on where exactly this thing landed. But it seems to be best bet somewhere in the Indian Ocean, which was always the most likely thing to happen.
Oh, hold on. What are they doing here? What is this? There's somebody at an airport. I just did a search in the Maldives for Snapchat, and it's just somebody sitting in an airport. There's nothing I can see about this there. That I'm looking in the Maldives and I'm not seeing anything on
Continuing to look here, the latest feeds. Spacetrack.org saying, we believe the rocket went down in the Indian Ocean, but are waiting on official data from at 18 SPCS, which is the 18th Space Control Squadron, which detects, tracks, identifies all artificial objects in Earth orbit. So that's what we're waiting on, is we're waiting for an official kind of U.S. government post about this, the 18th Space Control Squadron. The reason we probably don't have immediate confirmation is they tend to do kind of an analysis. So Pat Schneider, thanks for the super chat. It says satview.org shows the location of entry was latitude -37, longitude 131. Is this closer to the ground track? And I don't know off the top of my head on that. I'll take a quick look though. Yeah, so those coordinates would be off the southern portion of Australia. So it is possible, that is closer to the ground track. However, that's more kind of southern, south of Australia, and we didn't have any reports of fireballs or anything from Australia.
Circle to think it's actually searching.
That is along the ground track. That may be a kind of an
thank you,
estimated
Big Dog
point.
Ron, Arizona, who says
Kimberly
standing
Harvey,
outside
thank you very much for the
standing by to
$6.99.
run outside with my
Says thanks for
smartphone
the
to take a
updates
pic.
and educational live stream watching from
So,
here, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
In terms of
Thank
who
you very
can
much.
see this,
So just to kind of
best
recap what
guess
happened,
I
we had the Chinese launch their first module of 3 large modules
the
for their new space station that was on a Chinese Long March 5B rocket. And that's a variant that does not have an upper stage, so it has only a core stage and 4 strap-on boosters. It is a liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen rocket with kerosene and liquid oxygen on the strap-on boosters.
So again, China is
Launched this
saying that this
orbitally
thing has
to
gone
space,
down.
but then the core
rocket has
stage
gone down,
did reach
re-entered,
orbit,
in the Indian Ocean,
but
near the
was not
Maldives,
able
as you can see right there in the
to
launching
do
post.
a
So really quick, I want to say
burn
quick
to
thanks
do a controlled reentry for
Dandelions
whatever
and
reason, either
Daisies,
intentionally
Bridget,
or not
Stephanie
intentionally. We're not
Vargas.
sure yet. As a result, this thing orbited the Earth for some period of time, and then now today underwent a reentry, likely into the Indian Ocean. So Shihan Chen, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can you explain why this rocket caught so much more attention than the uncontrolled reentry of the Falcon 9 not long ago, which did hit a farm? Yeah, it's a great question. The Falcon 9 upper stage is much smaller than the core stage of this rocket. This core stage of this rocket was almost 23 tons, and it was 100 feet long and about 16 feet in diameter, whereas the Falcon 9 upper stage is smaller.
Guys, my browser crashed. I wish I would have restarted
it. Just kind of caught, I think, more of the public imagination.
I thought it would make it crash.
That massive, and the knowledge that much larger pieces would likely make it to the ground or into the ocean.
Got some music back at least.
Just that it was a much larger.
As always, I hope this finds everyone doing well and in good health.
Catching a lot more media attention than the second stage of the Falcon, which they do try to deorbit those second stages of the Falcon 9. However, there must have been some kind of a technical issue. Horseshoe 621, tell Heidi that Doug loves her, please. So Heidi, Doug loves you. 6 degrees forward. JBpost.com confirms 72.47 east, 2.65 north. So another possible data point. Jeff Roma, thank you for the $5 chat. Stephen Childress, thank you for the $20. Hey, thank you for the coverage and happy Mother's Day to Kitten from Daddy Duncan and Lulu. So you're very welcome for the coverage. This has been exciting and kind of fun to see where this thing would come down. It looks like most likely it came down in the ocean, which is what we had always hoped for. It'd be nice if some video ends up popping up where it came down, but sometimes this happens. It was out in the ocean. So. Yeah, and kind of further addressing, what happened with Falcon 9 upper stage is they did have a number of COPVs, which are composite overwrap pressure vessels that did re-enter. I believe it was in Washington State, or the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And initially there were some pieces found, and then actually some meteorite hunters went out there and were able to find more pieces. And those pieces were then taken. Actually, a friend of mine named Robert Ward went and recovered those pieces. The carbon fiber material itself is very abrasive and it can get in your hands and kind of poke you almost like a cactus. So I know that he took it back to Arizona, and then eventually SpaceX Security ended up sending some people out to meet with him, and took those pieces off his hands just because of the possible hazardous nature of them being kind of those sharp shards of carbon fiber. But ultimately, nobody was hurt. There was no real damage done. So all's well that ends well. And there are some media stories about that whole recovery of those Falcon 9 pieces. And happens from time to time, And what is nice, even with the Falcon 9, is recovering that first stage. And normally we just throw the whole first stage into the ocean, which arguably it's kind of like when you're throwing your trash in the ocean. Right? So it is nice if you're able to use those rockets both from a lowering the cost of launch access standpoint.
Okay.
But also just from a from an environmental standpoint, better off if you're not, littering as much as possible.
It's unrelated.
But at this point, it is good that this Chinese stage, seems to have splashed down as best we can tell from the information available to us. I'm going to do a check here, see if there's been any further.
Yeah, Sherry, I hopped on that real quick. Not quick enough.
No update yet from.
Thought it might have been space related, but nah. That's good for a 60. Practice good web etiquette, It's really not difficult.
So no truly definitive update at this point. We do believe from multiple sources that it landed in the Indian Ocean, including the Chinese government. We do know from the eyewitness accounts that we saw it coming out of the Middle East, with some plasma starting to appear on the back end of it, and then does not seem to have made it all the way to Australia. So, best indications are that it is down. So. So I'm just going to pause here for a moment, take a moment, get a drink. I've been streaming for several hours straight, but at this point, yeah, it seems to have splashed down in the Indian Ocean.
That one.
Obviously, we'll wait for future official confirmation, and we'll post anything on screen if that comes up. But it's been great talking with everybody here.
If this one is genuine, it would imply that the re-entry was underway
but it does
with
appear to
impact
be
over the Indian
to have
Ocean.
landed. So.
And what you see, it's very hard to see, but in this video posted by Luffy,
all right, well, I think actually
see, there's a
at this
trail.
point I'm going to sign off
like
for the
you
evening.
See a trail,
really appreciate
like an
great,
object.
Appreciate it. My name is David Gonzalez.
Watch this,
I've been covering launches and space-related events for over 10 years.
Right there.
Happy to share
right
some of my knowledge
see that
about the
white
situation
line
with
there?
y'all.
It's an object leading a trail.
Until next time.
So I
we
believe
will post any
what
updates
happened,
on the stream, and if
Jonathan
news
McDowell
comes up,
was
I might pop back on and
thought that meant it was
give
breaking up.
any future
When it
information.
was
But
over
at this point, it seems to have come down the Indian Ocean.
he
So
said,
have a good night or good
claim
morning, depending on where
observation from
in the world
which
you are.
if genuine would imply
Cheers.
the re-entry was underway when this was taken with impact over the Indian Ocean. And now we're hearing it did fall in the Indian Ocean, according to China. I think he posted one from Israel as well. Did he post one from Israel? Yes. He posted this one. CYA confirmed sighting from Haifa, Israel. It was a bit early in northern than predicted. Bright object on the left is Jupiter. So it's kind of hard to see, but I think that's Jupiter there. It's really hard to make out. I can barely see it. It's like a white dot right in here. I'll see if I can get you a better angle. I retweeted this video. I think I retweeted this. Did I retweet this? I don't think I did, actually. No, I think I did. Right there. Right in there. Kind of goes in and out of frame. Anyways, I believe I retweeted this, but if you want to see the videos, you can also go to Jonathan McDowell at Planet4589 and you can watch those. Was there any damage from this? We don't know. Jonathan McDowell also said China is reporting that the rocket re-entered right over the Maldives. If correct, will be interesting to see if we get reports from there. I have not heard any reports of debris floating or any debris hitting land anywhere, so we'll see what happens. Sorry, it's been so busy here. I want to get to some more of your comments.
Good to have you, Lee. Right. China's disciplinary.
I'm going through some of the comments.
Dave, yeah, China is saying that it went down over the Indian. However, U.S. has not confirmed. More than likely, though.
What is this? Somebody sent me a snap map video from 2 hours ago in the Maldives. Two hours ago would be before this went down. Slater says, if you check snap maps, it's clearly a resort area. In some areas, there's videos of planes taking off from hours ago. They don't give much sight of the planes. Odds are they're tricky. Yeah, when I first saw all the planes for like a couple minutes, I thought that maybe the planes were all going out to search the area. But then I said after that, oh, maybe it's just planes. There's a lot of plane activity there. And as I said before, this is the Maldives on Flight Radar 24, but I haven't seen any planes circling. If they were searching, I would expect them to be circling. So I have not seen any planes that are doing circles. However, you never know. Maybe some of the planes in that area caught a glimpse of something, as AI says by us. So, yeah, no, I mean, as I was saying, after I realized it, I was like, oh yeah, probably they might be local, and I haven't seen any plane doing any kind of circle. For a moment, I thought they were sending out a bunch of planes to look. Let's see. Oh, also, one of our viewers says a lot of those planes can land on water. Ron said that, Ron Kokas. So even if there's not a airport, they could be landing in an area. Thank you, Ron. Reddit says the sorry, no, Reddit deleted that, so Reddit did not say that. Hang on, I'm checking some. Camille says in that area of the Maldives, seaplanes are their form of taxi. That's how people get to resorts, she says. She said the seaplane traffic is normal. Thank you.
Yeah, Dave, you'd think if it splashed down, they would be doing circles around, you know. You got it, Lenore. My pleasure. Good to share this with you guys. Very interesting event. Just want to thank everybody who partook in both of the chats. I wish I would have said this when the view count was up there and high, but aside one, you know, spamming incident, there was nothing required tonight, so just wanted to thank you and acknowledge that. My pleasure and privilege to share this with you guys. Barbara, did the U.S. confirm? I thought it was just China that did thus far. You got it, Dave. Good to have you, man. Normally, using live streams across platforms, you know, to basically use streamers as our eyes and ears. A lot of people locked up inside, home, whatever. It's nice to get a glimpse of the outside. And if you want to formulate your own opinion of basis of fact, what you see, based off what you see, rather than, you know, what you're told, and etc., you're more than welcome to partake here. Anybody's welcome. Just ask that you keep it respectful. Oh, you did hear the U.S. confirmed? Who said that? Jared? Good to see you, brother. Sergeant Major. Nah. I'm restreaming. And it is doom and gloom, right? That's why I was like lowering it. I thought I had a different stream on. Semper Fi, by the way. I thought I had a different stream, a different tab open. I was like, what the hell is this? Something auto playing? Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's what he's got going. Yeah, I get something better though. Hang on. Get it going here. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what happened. All right. Doom and Gloom was my man who did the great coverage tonight. Might tip my hat to him. I'll give you his name in just one sec here. The audio came from Cosmo Sapiens over on YouTube. And the guy who was streaming is Infinite Space. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I had a loop. You know, three audios together here, but for a while there it was pretty interesting to see it, an uncontrolled re-entry. Thought you were hitting the bourbon too heavy. Yeah, no, I was trying to figure it out before too. Just want to wish everybody a beautiful night and or day whenever and wherever this finds you. Good to share it with you, and look forward to the next. My pleasure, Christine. I think the guy said he was going to get a drink of water and coming back, so we'll see if he finds any footage or content next couple of minutes here, and if not, we'll wrap it up. Back some audio from Steve here.
I'm just looking for updates here, but sorry, I'm just checking different things. So again, China said that it landed here. Is this the one? Yeah. China said that the re-entry happened here, so the debris would have gone down near here about an hour and a half ago, near the Maldives, which is an island nation, has a bunch of islands in the Indian Ocean. The U.S. Space Agency website Twitter feed said yes, it has gone down. We're confirming exactly where. So we'll wait and see if we hear anything more from. Here, look. Space track. We believe the rocket went down in the Indian Ocean, but waiting on official data. That's the U.S. government-controlled account. That account right there. But they said it went down. They did say that the rocket is down. See, they said the rocket is down. So, is there debris near the Maldives or in the Maldives? I don't know. I'm kind of waiting to find that out. Hey, thanks for your support, by the way, really quick. Courtney Rob and Rich. Daniel says he found it. Oh, it's like down here or something. One of these videos down here. There's some other videos down here. That's 2 hours ago. So again, just on the face of it, that video people keep sending me from Snapchat, you know, it's not the right time to post. But we'll see. I'll see if I hear anything. Thank you, Daniel, for writing it. Yeah, there's some people are now sending me videos that are just clearly fake videos that are not from this. There's many people sending me these videos now. You can hold off on sending me things that are clearly not from this.
Stream. Lisa, can you imagine having to put some clauses in home insurance to cover space junk? Good to be with you, Kenny. Dave, you as well. Everybody who hung out through the whole stream again, my pleasure. Joe, good to see you, brother. No video as of yet has surfaced of it coming down.
Track retweeted that person before. And it sounds like they're going to post a message very soon. So we'll wait for the Space Track message. That sounds like they're going to post some shortly.
If he's back, yeah.
David August says, spacetrack.org is not U.S. government. No, look, I'm going to show you exactly what I looked at before. Spacetrack.org is U.S. Strategic Command's primary data sharing web platform. That's what it says. Then at the bottom it says official U.S. It says Air Force Space Command archived. Spacetrack.org is Stratcom's primary space situational awareness data sharing web platform. And that's an Air Force press release, Air Force Space Command. So that's why I'm saying U.S. government, because an Air Force press release literally says spacetrack.org is U.S. Strategic Command's primary space situational awareness data sharing web platform. So they use this site to share information. That to me says the information on the site and from the associated Twitter feed is coming from the government. I don't know how else to take that. Let's see here. We are waiting for Space Track's announcement. But nothing yes. We're definitely gonna show that announcement. Is the site even working again? They were having trouble with their site. I think so many people were going to it. They temporarily suspended new accounts. Oh, I already have an account, I think, on SpaceTrack. Hold on, I think I can get into the site. I think I created an account, didn't I? Let me see. I think I created an account and wrote down some of the information. Let's see. Did I write this down? I think I did. Yes. Hang on. Okay, I'm in. Is the site working? I'm logged into spacetrack.org, but the site appears to be not working. I think it's too many. Oh, here it is. There's the site. I don't know. I don't know where the announcement will be. We'll see. Okay. So again, we're waiting for one more announcement. Oh, here, we got it. Breaking news. Breaking news. Here it is. This is from SpaceTrack. This is U.S. government Space Control Squadron. U.S. government Space Control Squadron, as far as I understand, 18 Space Control Squadron. Just to be clear.
But
this is the U.S. Space Force. U.S. Space Force confirms that the rocket re-entered the atmosphere at 2:14 Z time, which would be 10:14 p.m., and fell into the Indian Ocean north of the Maldives at latitude 22, longitude 50. That's all we have on this re-entry. Thanks for the wild ride and more followers. Good night. So first of all, this was only 3 minutes off their prediction. So first of all, let me just say, I want to post this. This was only 3 minutes off from their prediction. Great work at space travel. Because their prediction was 10:11. Their prediction was 10:11 p.m. and it was actually 10:14. Because Z time now is 4:07. Yeah, it's a 4-hour difference. So very good prediction work. This was only 3 minutes off their prediction. Great work, space traveler. They said 10:11 p.m. That was the last prediction they gave, 10:11 p.m. And it was 10:14 p.m. Eastern is when it happened. Okay, so that's one thing. And then also, the slightly different coordinates than 22.2 and 50.0. I think this is different coordinates than China gave, the Chinese government gave. North of the Maldives. 22.2 50.0. I don't know how to do this.
Another
I don't
stream with an additional view.
Let me put this in here. 22.2 50.0. Is this going to work or not?
1 second. It's got a map.
22.2 north, 50.0. That's not right. That's not right. I don't know how to find it on the map.
I got you.
Latitude, longitude finder. That didn't work. Oh, here it is. I don't know. Someone help me. Latitude 22.2, longitude 50.0. But we're waiting. They gotta post again because this doesn't look. This coordinates are not correct. Hang on. We'll wait for them to post. I gotta change the headline too. That's what it's in the Indian Ocean near Maldives, but we don't know the exact position. So we're still waiting. Did they mean 22.2.22?
My apologies to you guys over on YouTube. Having issues with chat tonight again. Just recouping. In the event anybody comes across any footage, please don't hesitate to comment that in, and we'll throw that up with coverage.
Oh, by the way, really quick, hold on a second here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Dogecoin is at 51. In case anyone was wondering, some people have been mentioning Dogecoin.
Care
It's
about
gone down.
Doge guy. I knew it was gonna go down. Gotta use the Fibonacci. Yep, Astro, that's right.
Started over Saudi Arabia? It's a little confusing. Because there's Saudi Arabia and there's the Maldives. There's a video of it over Oman apparent video where it appears to be breaking up. So maybe what they're saying is the reentry began over Saudi Arabia, and then eventually the debris went down near the Maldives in the ocean or something like that. That's very interesting. This says re-entered over the Arabian Peninsula. Because again, remember, there was a video of it over Oman where it appeared to be breaking up that Jonathan McDowell posted. So I'm wondering if the confusion is that maybe what happened is it started breaking up over Saudi Arabia, but actually went down more in the Indian Ocean. Did that maybe happen? All right, hang on a second. Very confusing. It's confusing. So again, they're saying re-entry was over the Arabian Peninsula, which is, that includes, it's that whole piece of land here, sticking out. Saudi Arabia, Oman, it's this whole peninsula. So that would mean re-entry was over Saudi Arabia or Oman. Yeah, I'll show that video again, the one supposedly from Oman. It's really weird. But remember, China said it re-entered in the Indian Ocean. Maybe China wants, it's in their interest to say that it re-entered over ocean and not land, so it looks better for them. Here. This is the video from Oman, which it would have been after Saudi Arabia. And Jonathan McDowell says, claimed observation from Oman, which if genuine would imply the re-entry was already underway with impact over the Indian Ocean. That's what I think happened. So what you see in this video from Luffy is really quick. I gotta stop it so you can see it. It's hard to see. Right there. There's a streak. See, there's like it's very faint, but there's an object leaving a streak, which I assume is because it's breaking up. Right there. And that's over Oman. So the idea would be that I guess the idea would be that the breakup, and it said, Space Command said it started over the Arabian Peninsula. So somewhere as it was going over here, it started re-entering and breaking up, and then maybe the debris landed more over here. Because look, it says here it's because Space Track, which is U.S. coming information from the U.S. government, says it fell into the Indian Ocean north of the Maldives. Oh, look, breaking news. We know that the coordinates plot in Saudi Arabia. That was the last place the computer system recorded it. Operators confirmed the rocket actually went into the Indian Ocean north of the Maldives. We just report the data, folks. Okay, there's confirmation. That's from Space Track. So what they're saying is that the last plot, the last coordinates they got were over Saudi Arabia, but operators confirmed the rocket actually went into the Indian Ocean north of the Maldives.
What? They shut my stream off. Oh shit. Facebook
that was just posted
shut off the stream
by Space Track.
That's not cool. About to give them
So
all
Space
the
Track, which is U.S. government information, they're saying it went into the ocean north of the Maldives.
YouTube's still good.
China said it went into it re-entered slightly west of the Maldives.
Sonny.
So both are saying that it went into the ocean near the Maldives, from what I understand. It's a little tricky because I think China said re-entry was. This is where China said re-entry was. I don't know why U.S. Space Command said it re-entered over the Arabian Peninsula. So people might be using the word re-entry differently. I don't know. But again, it appears that that's where the rocket went into the water. Okay, let's see here. Suri mentioned flight radar. Let's just go, Suri the cat, our viewer, mentioned flight radar. So this is the Maldives now. I didn't see any aircraft circling there before. So there's aircraft, but appears that this is just normal aircraft traffic. So I didn't see any of these actually circling. You'd expect if they're searching that they would be circling, and I have seen nothing circling in the area, for whatever that's worth. Gabber says, so one of our viewers had said, re-entry, maybe when China said it re-entered near the Maldives, they meant it went down near the Maldives, rather than it started breaking up over the Maldives. That's what I'm saying. And again, Space Command said it re-entered over the Arabian Peninsula, which I assume means started breaking up over Saudi Arabia or Oman. David Mead says the point of re-entry is not the path where the atom not the point where the atom hits the Earth. Remember how fast it's traveling and it takes time to slow down. Yeah, I'm just going off of what China said, where they said it re-entered at the Maldives, and I think they didn't really mean that. Here, look. If we go back here.
Yeah, Belinda. Facebook got tripped by the algo. We're going to have to appeal it.
The official China Space Agency account, according to
and give them the links and say, hey, they were all from YouTube.
Near the Maldives. And maybe,
nothing wrong with it.
You know, that was like a misstatement. People's Daily apps use re-entry as well. But I'm wondering if China... if they know re-entry began over land, but just for publicity's sake, because they've been trying to play down this thing, they're going to say, "Oh, it re-entered over water." They don't. I wonder if China just doesn't want to say it made re-entry over land, just for publicity purposes, knowing full well that re-entry began before it was over water. So that's what I have a suspicion that maybe we'll just keep hearing China say, "No, re-entry was over water." Rather than saying, well, re-entry was over land, and then the debris fell in the water. It could have been a poor translation, too, but anyways. This is People's Daily, so that's their website. That's not a Google translation, that's their actual Twitter feed. Yeah, in terms of other planes in the area, I mean, I'm looking here. I don't see any planes circling. A lot of these are big jets anyway. after says, wouldn't point of re-entry and location of going down be different? Yes, I would assume so. That's not how China was using the word re-entry, which is confusing. But again, I'm wondering if maybe they're just doing that for publicity. And I know, again, there's a bunch of people have sent me videos that I can't confirm. So I'll be looking the next few days. There's also a lot of videos people have sent me that are clearly just not legit. So I'll also be looking to see about other videos. I'm guessing over the next couple days we'll see more videos that are verified as videos of the rocket as it was passing over various towns and land areas.
All right, everybody have a great night. Thanks for joining.